Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to take a look at how to create a shader which fades away with the distance from the camera. So in this video we have applied the same shader to the AR plane, and whenever the camera goes closer to the AR plane it becomes visible, but when the camera goes far away the plane becomes invisible or it fades away. So let's quickly take a look at how this shader can be created. First of all, I am using the AR Foundation samples project so that I can quickly port this to my mobile phone. And then I'm using an AR session origin with an AR feathered plane. So if we open up the AR feathered plane, we can see that we have a faded plane material applied to it, which has a distance fade shader, and it has two properties. One is color and one is threshold. So color defines what color plane it should be, and threshold defines what is the distance threshold after which the plane should fade away. Now this threshold will always be in meters. So here is the shader. As we know, we have two properties. We have a color and a threshold property. So now let's take a look at the subshader. In the subshader, the first parameter is tags, and we need to convey that render type has to be transparent and the render queue also has to be transparent. Okay, so the next most important thing without which the transparency won't work is the blend command. So the blend command simply says that take the source alpha of the previous pass and then do a 1 minus source alpha, which is enable transparency using the current passes alpha channel. So let's take a look at the shader. The shader, we have a vertex function and a fragment function. The data is pretty much the same. We have a position, we have a text code. If you want to use it, go ahead. I have not even bothered to remove this variable. In the vertex to fragment structure that we already now know that this is important, we have the same UV and the vertex position, but then we have something called as the world position. So let's talk about the object position, which is vertex, and the world position. So basically, whenever we are referring to the coordinates of an object with reference to its pivot, it's called the object space or the object space position. And whenever we are referring to the position of that specific vertex with reference to the world origin, which is 0, 0, 0 in unity, right? We are talking about the world space position of that vertex. Now, we know that the camera is going to move around in the world space. Hence, we need to take the world space position of that specific object. So this is important because we need to make sure that the calculations happen in the same coordinate space and the distance fading happens properly. Okay, so we have declared these two variables in the past so that the past can utilize them. Now let's take a look at the vertex function. So in the vertex function, we are taking the object space vertex and converting it into clip space. Now clip space is when the camera sees it, right? And the clipping happens. This is important for us to render. Then we are providing the UVs, and this is the important part. We are taking the object space vertex position and multiplying it by this unity object to world matrix to convert this vertex from object space to world space. So let's take a look at the fragment function. So here we are just taking the color property simply. Then we are creating a fade variable in which we are calculating the distance between the world space position of the vertex and the world space camera position. Now the world space camera position is by default provided by unity, and we are dividing it by the threshold. So once we do that, we are saturating it so that it clamps between 0 to 1. So one thing to note that in this fade variable, the fading will happen around the user. Now if we inverse it and apply it to the alpha channel, it's going to fade away the other way. So I hope you like this video. The effect is very short and simple, and it is very useful because whenever the user is away from the AR planes in the mobile AR app, the view does not get obstructed anymore. So thank you so much for watching, and please let me know if you have any questions in the comment box. Thank you.